Poetry reading, motherfucker. Until you've like hiked 7 miles and eaten 4 granola bars and listened to 6 dead fucking bootlegs. And then we'll have you back. But that's not the way it happened at all. Shit. Officer Obi, the guy that they make fun of in the damn song, he's the only guy that cares about the earth. He's the hippie in the damn song. And they roll their eyes at him. Make fun of him. Sons of bitches. I don't even know what I'm talking about. How'd I get off on that tangent? Oh, shit. I did tell my nephew, I said, I can't, you know, if there is a life you want to go into and you're not looking to be organized or grow up or ever get your shit together or ever become a professional person or ever anything like that, I'm telling you, 3 or 4 chords, it's the ticket. You don't even have, and I was remembering then, and I told him, I said, when I was your age, I was living in this place called San Marcos. And, hell yeah. And yeah, I was just right down there. You know Kent Finley. Shit, his kid's here tonight. He runs the Chemistry Warehouse. And I was in that part of the country, and I had come from Oregon where nobody really played guitar or sang or made up a poem, you know. But then when I got to Texas, it was like really tough guys would also have a poem, you know. And I thought that was cool, you know. But then, my buddy Todd played me a record by the great Jerry Jeff Walker. And it just fascinated me. I had really never heard anybody do acoustic guitar except for that Heart of Gold and Neil Young. He did some of that. I was like, this is like Neil Young, except for he's a cowboy. I don't know, shit. I loved it, you know. And then I was like, we gotta go. So Charles said he was playing the Green Hall. And so we walked out there. And I was just mesmerized by this guy. He was up there by himself. And at the time in my life, I didn't have a job really, or a house, or a car, or anything that, like, I was always borrowing, you know. They call me the load, or the freeloader. I was the freeloader of my group, you know. And as I was watching Jerry Jeff sing about this stuff that I was doing, hitchhiking, borrowing a couch, he was glorifying it and making it sound fun and more like something a girl might want to be part of. And I was sitting out there taking this in, like thinking the difference really between a freeloader and a free spirit is about 3 chords. So I got a guitar the very next day, and I started making up songs about trying to catch rides too, you know. And I started singing, and I got obsessed with Jerry Jeff. And I went every night that I didn't sing, I would go watch him, and I was learning more and more how to play the guitar from watching him play. I would be sitting right there, and I learned the chords. And I just became obsessed, and I wrote all these letters to him that I didn't send, and I planned out all these meetings that we would have, because I just thought that we were of the same spirit, you know. And then that didn't, you know, I didn't really get to meet him, and then I moved to, I'd wait in the line and he'd sign things, but then I moved to Memphis, and I got this guy called me up, and he said that Jerry Jeff was playing at the New Kessler Theater, and by that time I was playing around town, and people knew that I was kind of trying to be a folk singer, and they said I could open the Jerry Jeff show, and I was really thrilled because I knew as an opener there was no way he was going to avoid meeting me. And I had this plan, I made up a speech, had a plan for how it would go, went and I did my set. When I came off stage, there was this old, well, first of all, I walked right in the dressing room, and there's Jerry Jeff. But right next to him is this drunk old chick, and she's just yelling at him. She's saying nice things, but man, she's yelling at him. And he looks to be looking around like he wishes somebody would get her away from him. And I think she snuck backstage, and then she turns and she sees me, and she says, like kind of almost rudely, like, you were up there too, sign this. And then she said, Jerry Jeff, turn around. And she stuck her poster up on his back and hands me a pin. And I was like, in all the scenarios that I had planned out, this was in none of them. There wasn't even a pen or a poster involved. But I was panicking. I went right into what I had planned, and I said, this is the highlight of my life. And he thought, I don't know, but he said, pretty fucking boring life so far, kid. And then, let's see, I hope you don't mind if I tell you a story, but it won't take, the rest of the night. I really want to tell you this, because then I got to make an album, and then I started touring the country a lot, and it didn't feel like my life was so boring, and I was always telling my manager, if you could ever get me anywhere near Jerry Jeff, I want to play on something that he's on, so I can meet him, for real. And then I got on the Jerry Jeff Labor Festival in Luckenbach with a bunch of my friends, and as soon as I saw him, I ran right up to him and I grabbed him, and I said, "You're my king." And he looked at me like he was looking at that chick in Memphis a few years ago. And so I quickly said, "I'm Todd Snider, I'm on the bill." And he went, "Okay," he calmed down a little bit. And then I said, "I know everything about you, man. I have every album you've ever made. Every album you've ever made." He goes, "I doubt that." And I said, "I do, and I know everything about you." And he's like, "I doubt that, boy." But we became friends, and I'm telling you, as God is my witness, this is the truth. I have since beat him, not just beat him, kicked his ass many times in Jerry Jeff Walker tribute contests. Sometimes he'll call me for lyrics to his songs. Or he'll ask me what record something's on. He'll be looking for one of his songs, and he'll call me and go, "What else? I'm not good." And then, a couple years later, we've been palling around and doing some shows, and it was like a dream come true to me, fuck, I even got to meet Ramblin' Jack Elliott through him, and we walked up and down the streets of Austin one night, and then he asked me if I wanted to go to Belize with him. I thought, shit, he said, we'd go snorkeling and see these coral reefs that were going to blow my mind, and the colors were fantastic. He talked about it the whole way down. Then we get in this boat, we go and we stop at there's a gate, and he says, "Hey, hang on, I'll go up, I gotta talk to this guy." He goes, talks to this guy, we go up into this place, he goes, "This is where all the beautiful shit is. Put on this snorkel, when you fall in, just blow the water out of that, and then just look down, it'll blow your mind." So it's so amazing. So I flip out the back of the boat, I open my eyes and blow that thing out, and I'm not exaggerating, like 13 to 15 sharks. Everywhere. And stingrays everywhere. Like comedy everywhere. Like, what did they set this up? And no coral reef, none. And so I jump up out of the water like, what the fuck? And he's laughing so hard. This is his idea. He gave money to this park. This was a tame animal park that he had taken me into, that he told me was a coral reef park. And then, which is why I don't mind telling this next part of this story. He told this story last week, and he called me the next day and said, "I heard you told about the New Orleans." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't tell that." I said, "You should have thought of that before you threw me to the sharks." So, man, about 2 years later than that, about 98, I probably was about 30, and we were still on the road, just running as hard as we could, on and off stage, just trying to live as hard as we could. And we were in New Orleans one time, and I knew that, I knew Jerry Jeff had a house down there, but when the show started, a few songs into it, I could hear him. He always yells, "That's my boy!" And I was like, "Oh, Jerry Jeff's here," And then afterwards, he came into the dressing room, and in those days, I had this tackle box that I would carry around, that I would keep all the drugs that everybody gave me. It was a fascinating box, because people give musicians lots of different drugs. And I don't want to be rude, and you can't take them all at the same time. In this thing, and I had like peyote, everything you could imagine in there. And one of the drugs that my generation never did, because the generation before us did so much, was cocaine. And people gave it to me sometimes, and I would have it, but I would always give it to somebody. And as much as I'm admitting to taking every other drug, why would I lie about that, right? And I'm not saying I haven't done it. I'm just saying it just wasn't something that I got into. But then I was in New Orleans and he came back and he saw the tackle box, which always cracked him up. And, what's in that box today, boy? And I said, well, there's cocaine in there, because I knew that he liked that. In the 70s, they called him Mr. Blowjangles. He said, boy, I don't do that shit no more, man. We used to roar on that stuff in the 70s, though. And all I could think was roar on that stuff. And I was like, I want to see this. And so, being a good friend, I said, come on, Jerry, Dad, we're in the 70s. We're going to get weird. And this is a long time ago. So he, what's the word, acquiesced? He said, fucking fine. So we go back to his house. He hadn't done it in a long time. I didn't really know how to do it. And I don't know how much you're supposed to do. There was a couple other people there with us, and we were having a beer or two. And we did a little bit of it, and then right from this point forward is like the part that I can't say I know for sure. This is what everyone said. They said that I fell down on the table and started flipping around like a fish if you catch it and throw it in the boat. And it jumped up. Kind of a dark story, but they threw me in the shower and they put me to bed and they just laid around and made sure I was okay. And I didn't know. You know, I woke up in the middle of the night and all I knew, and this happened a lot in those days, you'd wake up and go, oh, fuck, I'm not in a hotel. It's going to be a big mystery, you know. I start trying to figure out where you're at. And so I opened up my eyes a little bit, and then I closed them real quick because I was like, fuck, I'm on a couch. What happened? What happened? What happened? And then I got scared because my eyes were closed, and I hear this stomping back and forth. And I'm like, oh shit, this is creepy. And then I relaxed a little because I heard this voice go, never again, boy, never, not ever, this kind of drunk boy, never fucking ever again. And I thought, oh, and then it all came back to me, oh shit, you know, it's Jerry Jeff and he is mad. And so then I hear the steps and they stop right by my head and I hear him go, did you hear me, boy? I said, never again. And I opened my eyes, and I hate to do this to you, but I've already come this far. About a foot from my face is Jerry Jeff Walker's balls. I didn't want to have to tell you that. I won't describe them, you know. I'm planning to get in here. But I'll tell you this, I saw them fucking things. He's a nude sleeper. And he woke up pissed at me. And now, you know, I still get offered a lot of drugs, and I never have to worry about getting a cocaine problem at all now, because as sexy as a drug as people say it is, anytime anybody offers it to me, I picture Jerry Jeff Walker's ball. And I just want to go home. Probably saved my life, probably added years to my life. I probably just helped all